let's get to today's ball game here. And a little bit of news to sprinkle in with this. Johnny Cueto was scratched yesterday from his start due to an illness. Then doesn't show up today. So we had these wins in both of these games come from Davis Martin. And today, who do we have on the mound that started this game for us?
Vinny Velo.
But I want to read out these names. Vinny Velo, Jose Ruiz, Lambert, and Banks. I mean, that's like a who's who. Outside of Jimmy. No Jimmy slander right now, Steve, but that's like a who's who.
I will not tolerate James Lambert slander. I will not tolerate it.
You will not. I won't either, because he is the Lambo. But Velasquez, Ruiz, and Banks got the ship home today. You know what that must have meant, Steve? That must have meant that the offense did some shit. Because you're going to need it. 11 runs from the White Sox offense today. Start somewhere, Steve. Start somewhere with this.
Before I get to the offense and their exploits here today, let's hit the rewind button to postgame on Friday night. We got to get to Friday night conspiracy theory on something, because I know I shared the tweet. Davis Martin was in Detroit. No announcement yet of a corresponding move yet. He's up here for a reason. So somebody is ouchy.
Yes.
And it's kind of making me wonder and making me think, is this the Michael Kopech shutdown?
Is it the Michael Kopech shutdown? Can I go? I don't want to do this. Is it Johnny Cueto?
I hope not.
I don't want to. You're talking conspiracy. I know he's lined up to go tomorrow. Some stuff in that last start just didn't seem right to me. I'm hoping it's not Johnny Cueto. It could be the Michael Kopech shutdown.
We were both fucking right. What are the odds of that?
I don't know what happened here, but yes, I do remember this. And I got a few text messages about this actual conversation transpiring when both of these guys went down. It started yesterday with the Kopech thing, and everybody was like, I got a few texts that said, man, like Nostra Steve. And then when the Cueto news came out, boom, like that was weird. We might want to like speak some more things into existence that are good next time instead of, well, and then the results were okay, but maybe we need to use those powers for better.
Listen, I mean, if we're going to do that, then let's just, talk about the Cleveland Guardians losing tomorrow and then coming to the south side of Chicago with only a 3-game lead, and the Sox just dick slapping them up and down the field Tuesday through Thursday and taking hold of first place. Let's talk that. Let's speak that into existence.
I would love to. That's the most positive Steve's been on the show all year. I mean, he's got his name has changed to #StillAlive. And Steve's trying to speak some things into existence that would just make me so happy. So I'm invigorated by this kind of talk, Steven.
As somebody who relishes in the misfortune and the pain and the agony of the Cleveland Guardians and their fans, nothing, and I mean nothing, would be sweeter and more, dare I say, cinematic than if they were to choke away this fucking division lead and for the Sox to celebrate after a victory against the Minnesota Twins the first week in October. Speak it into existence.
I am here for this. You got me having goosebumps here on the show. I'm excited, Steve. I want nothing more than that. You got to see them kind of wrap things up last season in Cleveland, and now you get the opportunity potentially to do it in Minnesota as well. Man, this has been a roller coaster of a fucking year. It absolutely has been a roller coaster of a year. I want to get back on track with some of the news stuff here. This was a nice little runaway on Sunday. But Michael Kopech missing for the next 14 days. Now, that brings him, Steve, what, into that first week of October, maybe gives him a chance to make one more start, if that. What are you expecting out of the rest of the season from Michael Kopech? Because I think there's a lot of question marks at this point.
If I'm being totally honest with you, I have no further expectations for Michael Kopech this season. The fact of the matter is he has thrown 119 and 2/3 innings this year. All season, I had talked about my belief that 130 was going to be that magic number, while the organization never came out and hashtag confirmed it. That always seemed logical based off of recent history. If you look at other pitchers coming off of Tommy John surgery and guys that did not have the enhanced workload that Kopech didn't have coming into the season. So maybe if they decide that last week, and should they come back and win this division title, that you want to slot him into the bullpen and thinking maybe you can get 10 innings out of him during the postseason to get you to that 130 mark, maybe that's the way they go. Personally, me, I would be fine with seeing Davis Martin, take the roster spot of, Joe Kelly or Jose Ruiz. That's just me. And like I said, if Kopech comes back and if they determine, hey, we can use you for an inning here, an inning there, that last week and into October, if they win this division, I think that's about all you can expect at this point.
Yeah, it certainly seems like there's, the potential that they've basically just iced him out until the rest of the team decides if they're going to the playoffs or not. I can very easily see a situation, Steve, depending on how the Cleveland series goes, where they shut him down, or if they're on the other end of that spectrum, he's getting geared back up and throwing catch and looking to make one of those starts against Minnesota, I would think. Steve, you brought up a couple of names when you were just speaking, and one of them was Joe Kelly. I know that it hasn't been great, but isn't he here for the postseason?
He is, but at the same time, if you look at the numbers as a whole, I would say over his last 5 to 6 appearances, on the surface, at face value, the numbers look good, but you watch him pitch, and there's just not a confident feeling when he's on the mound. The point that I drive home every night, and I'm sure everyone is sick of hearing me talk about it, pitchers going out there, working ahead in counts, being in a position to control the at-bat and take it to the hitter. He doesn't do that with consistency. And if you're talking about a guy in October, yeah, he's got a lot of postseason experience, but the one thing you cannot afford to do, and we saw this last October against the Houston Astros, you cannot afford to give teams free base runners, especially if you are in a position where if you have to go up against the Toronto Blue Jays, you cannot be walking guys in front of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You cannot be walking guys in front of George Springer. You cannot do that because that is a quick way to end your season. So, Joe Kelly, I have no confidence in your ability to work ahead consistently and not issue free passes. So, if we don't see him pitching meaningful games, I'm okay with it because he just has not inspired any confidence whatsoever this season. I don't care how much money he's fucking getting paid.
That might be a good one for the content factory, Stephen. I like where your head's at on some of this stuff, and I think that for the sake of time, we'll move on. But I would love to discuss this entire from the signing on to where he's at right now and what he's here for. I think it's an intriguing conversation.